House here live from spring training from an undisclosed location somewhere in the bowels of Florida. I'm going to bring you an update live from spring training. Let's talk about that and so much more on tonight's Locked On Astros.
Alvarez, it's a high drive, center field. Beer leans back. This game is turned upside down. There's the runner, fly ball down the right field line. Tucker comes on. Kyle Tucker. This time they finish the job.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
Sorry. We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on Twitter at Eric Talk Astros. Find the show at Locked On Astros. Your team every day. Brett, where can you find you at in Florida?
Well, they can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. They can find me at Stros411 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive. Loving the spring training. Always Stros.
All right, it's fantasy baseball season. I did my first draft. Well, I guess we both did our first draft today, so that was pretty cool. And now it's just on to get the rest of the spring training going. That way we can have the regular season going. And guys, for the rest of spring training, the rest of regular season, go ahead and make us your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go and keep on subscribing. Give us a big fat thumbs up and go and make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, Google, wherever you listen to your podcast. Check up here this little QR code. You can see all the different ways you can listen to Locked On Astros podcast and make us your first listen every day. So there's a lot of things to update with Yuli Gurriel. I know you kind of talked about it on Thursday, but he is now a Florida Marlin. So he's joining I guess he's down there with you right now. But also we have Alvarez. He took some swings, and also McCullers threw the ball a little bit too. So those are some good updates. Michael Brantley, not too much of an update, but we'll talk about that. And what did Hunter Brown do today? And Forrest Whitley pitched this weekend. But unfortunately, it was good. But the outcome was still the same, and it was probably always going to be the same. So let's go ahead and get this show started by what everybody wants to know, which is Yordan Alvarez. And he did go ahead and take some swings, and the plan is still for him to be ready for opening day. And he says it doesn't matter how many at-bats. It's not a matter of reaching at so many at-bats before spring training ends. It's just when I feel good and when I feel comfortable in the batter's box, I'm going to be okay. It's been a little frustrating not be able to get into games the last couple of weeks, but thanks to God, I feel good now, and we'll start moving forward.
Yeah, that's great. Of course, I did not see Yordan or Lance McCullers out there. Those guys, if he was taking swings in the cage, I mainly saw minor leaguers in there. And I'll give you an update, just kind of the sights and sounds of what I saw today at our first ever spring training trip. Yordan Alvarez, we're just going to be patient with him. Lance McCullers, patient with him. I think you're going to see a big year out of Lance McCullers, out of Yordan Alvarez. Lance McCullers, I just don't know. The big question is, can he stay healthy all season? That's really the question I think that is on everybody's mind. This 5-year, $85 million deal that he got looks to be a really sweet deal for him, and not the best of deals for the Houston Astros. Just if you're going over that contract, looking at value added or taken away due to how much or how little he's performing on the field. And it's not because Lance doesn't want to be out there. I mean, if there's a single pitcher out there that I want on the mound in a clutch situation, a lot of times it would be Lance McCullers. I know people will harken back to the World Series, the 5 home runs, and recency bias will kind of set in. But he is a quality pitcher, and he's got that dog in him. And what you need, because you lost Justin Verlander, is you need a healthy Lance McCullers. You need these pitchers to be healthy. But let me tell you, man, these young players we got, these minor league kids. I talked to Drew Gilbert for the first time today. Will Wagner. These guys are absolutely looking to make some waves this year with the Houston Astros.
Before we move away from McCullers too much, he did pick up the baseball this today, and he threw 30 times off flat ground. So that's a big step. It's the first time since he's thrown a ball since February 14th. So this is pretty awesome. Actually, he did that on the 11th, which was Saturday. So that's pretty noteworthy. Does that mean he's going to go down and start making starts? No. Now he's throwing off flat ground, so then he'll start airing it up to maybe 60 throws, and then start throwing off the bullpen mound. And it's going to be, he basically has to start probably the whole spring training again. So it's going to be probably about a month and a half before we see Lance McCullers get going, maybe even back with Houston. But it's good to see him throwing the ball again, because we kept on hearing, oh, we don't know when he's going to throw. We don't know when he's going to throw, but at least we see him throwing again. And he said that he feels good. So we'll see what happens. And so we'll see what happens with him. And with let's go ahead and switch to Michael Brantley. There's not really much to talk about with him. He's been away from the team for last week with a personal matter, so that just puts him a little bit even further behind. So that means likely the Astros will need a fourth outfielder come opening day. And unless somebody really just opens their eyes, because Jake Myers is likely going to make the team anyway as the third outfielder right now with the way things are going. So Justin Dearden, he's batting he's got crazy numbers: 333, 444 on base percentage, OPS of 1244, 2 home runs, 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 RBIs. So I know it's still a small sample size, but he's making great plays defensively, making great catches, throwing people out at plate. I think that Justin Dearden has opened some eyes, and some of the guys who are on the 40-man roster have not really done that.
Exactly. Yeah. So, with that being said, I want to look at some of these reassignments because people are asking about like who's been reassigned or who's been assigned to minor league camp. And all these moves came today on the 12th. JP France option to the Space Cowboys, Sean Dubin option to AAA, Forrest Whitley option to AAA, Bryant Salgado option to AAA. The day before that, Joe Perez, friend of the show, he's been on the show with us. Chad Stevens a while back, that was on the 8th, and you could just go down the list. So they pretty much have their idea set on who's going where. You notice Justin Dearden still in the mix. He had an amazing throw from right field to third base. I don't know that play was that close, but the throw was an absolute laser from right field. So you love seeing Dearden contribute in that way. Got to see Jake Myers today. You know what's interesting, Eric, is watching the game today. Corey Lee and Yainer Diaz are batting like their life depends on it. Diaz goes 3 for 4 with 2 doubles. Corey Lee hit a home run today. They looked magnificent at the plate. Now I don't know much. I don't have much of a scouting eye for the Marlins pitchers or their history and all that stuff. But what I saw from these young catchers that are going for that backup spot is it was funny because I had gotten up from my seat. I was thinking maybe I should record Corey Lee's at bat before I go up to the party deck. And as I'm walking, I turn around and Lee launches a ball into left field, just absolutely crushes it. But, talking to these guys, Eric, I got to talk to Jordan Brewer today. I got to talk to JC Correa. He said to tell you hi. Joey Luperfido, I said, we're expecting to see you up in AAA this year. There's a lot of scouts that have a lot of good things to say about you. I saw Drew Gilbert, and I said, Drew, we're looking forward to many bat flips this year. He said, well, I got to hit my first one first. Love the attitude, love the approach. Will Wagner was all business. It was just neat to see these guys out there just really honing in on what they were doing, working on situational hitting. The coaches were dialed in. So even though there was fanfare and people were around, players were signing autographs, we did get an autograph today from Alex Bregman and Jeff Bagwell. That was really neat. Ryan Stanek stopped by and said hi, took a picture with my son. So the minor leaguers that are there that are still playing in these games, they're playing like they're trying to win a spot. And I wouldn't be surprised if Dearden somehow snuck his way on. Maybe an injury has to happen for that or someone has to get DFA'd, but gosh darn it, the dude is playing the part really well. And I talked to Jake today, Jake Myers. Jake Myers said he's feeling really good. Jake Myers has a lot of confidence. And, where I know we have him, or I have him as an odd man out for center field, he may not be as out as I think he is.
Yes, and I know that Will Wagner he made a great impression with the Astros with his time this spring, and I'm sure he's going to update that in his LinkedIn profile, and it says that I impressed Dusty Baker, and so that means something. So this episode is brought to you by LinkedIn.
Yeah, these days, every new potential hire can feel like a high-stakes wager for your small businesses. You want to be 100% certain that you have access to the best qualified candidates available. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the right people for your team faster for free. So what you do is you add your job and the purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you're hiring. Simple tools like screening questions make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience, so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rated LinkedIn #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedonmlb. That's linkedin.com/lockedonmlb to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply.
I know that a lot of people have been kind of down on Forrest Whitley, and he hasn't really pitched that well this spring. But in Saturday's game, he pitched really good, and I believe that he threw 38 of his 57 pitches for strikes, and he looked like a better pitcher. He was throwing 95 to 96 mile per hour. He threw a lot of strikes. He got ahead of the hitters. Yes, he gave up the 2 runs, but overall, it was a good effort, and the Astros saw that. In 2 2/3 innings, he gave up the 2 runs, 4 hits, 2 strikeouts. Once again, no walks. So this is, I believe, he's made 2 straight starts, and not 2 straight starts, but he's made 2 starts, and in both starts, he hasn't walked a batter. In the relief appearance, he came in and he walked some batter. So he was optioned down, like you mentioned. So this is not to say, hey, yeah, it's in the road. You suck, kid. Go down and just right away. This is actually because it's getting to the time of camp where pitchers are going to get stretched out a little bit more, and there's going to be less and less innings for somebody like Forrest Whitley. And so he's probably not going to make the opening day roster. And that's kind of what even as I was arguing for him, I knew he wouldn't be on the opening day roster. But if he goes down to AAA and pitches well, he could still be in that mix for that 6th starter, because we don't know how long Lance McCullers is out. Ty France is down. Sean Dubin, he's struggling a little bit this spring, and a lot of people, scouts, think that he may be better as a reliever down the road. Brandon Bielak, he's not really looking too great. I mean, he could still be that lawn man reliever. But you have Blanco getting stretched out as well, and it seems like Jaden Murray is getting stretched out as well. I don't know if I don't think he's going to be in competition for the Astros rotation, but what they're looking for is to fill out the rotation in AAA as well, and so that's what I think Murray is probably going to be. But Murray struggled a little bit. But Blanco, another on Saturday, he pitched 2 2/3 innings. He did have 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. So Blanco, I think he got up to 47 pitches.
Yeah, Blanco may be your guy that is kind of leading that parade of getting that final spot if they don't feel like they can stretch anybody else out. Hunter Brown, some people, it's funny. I was having this conversation with someone at the ballpark today where people will say, well, you can't judge a guy hitting 650 in spring training and say he's going to become a major league player. But those same people say, see, I told you Hunter Brown was terrible and he's having a bad spring. He's only had 1 good outing. Now, wait, I thought you told me we couldn't judge a player by a small sample size of spring training, but you can on others. Like, you can't have it both ways, people. it's either one way or another. The bottom line is Hunter Brown is a top 2 or 3 guy in a rotation period in his story. Whether people think he's ready to do that or not, look, if the Astros put him in that spot and put him 5th or 6th, he is absolutely ready. Okay. It is just one of the things where I think none of us can judge a whole lot from spring training. But if you can't judge anything from spring training, then what's the point of even talking about it, right? I think Hunter Brown today, I was behind the plate. I was watching him pitch all 3 of his strikeouts. He was in the zone. He was pounding the zone. He looked under control. He was working fast. The pitch clock did not bother him. He did pitch a whole lot better today. I love that he went out for that 3rd inning. The Astros ended up winning 5-1 today. We had some good offense. They moved the ball around. There was a play at the plate. Yainer Diaz hit a bloop single into the outfield. Okay. Actually, it was caught and the runner tagged up, which was Bannon, and he slid in head first and he was safe. I mean, let me tell you, he was safe by a mile. The umpire made a terrible call. Later on, David Hensley hit an infield single and was like sprinting down first base. He called him safe. He was out. He said the Marlins first baseman didn't have his foot on the base, which he clearly did. And we were yelling, that was a makeup call. I mean, the ump show is a real thing. And I think the umpires have too much power. I don't like the pitch clock as it stands. It needs to be longer. I didn't see any egregious overstep on the part of the umpires, like a player didn't have both of his eyes on the pitcher and wasn't ready kind of bullcrap. But the game did go fast. I mean, we were looking at like, oh my God, it's already the 5th inning. And it ended rather quickly. I wasn't used to that. I didn't mind it as much being there. So my judgment on it has changed a little bit. I still think there is not enough time at the plate. I think there needs to be more concessions made. Like if you change a ball, when a pitching coach comes out to talk to his pitcher, he needs more than 30 seconds. 30 seconds is BS. Unless you're going to let them communicate with a microphone and talk from the dugout in the plate. But I love Corey Lee working with Hunter Brown. I loved seeing Diaz as DH. I love Corey Lee crushing that ball. I mean, the kid's got absolute power and can mash, and he has a cannon. So I think the backup catcher position is great. Here in a second, dude, we got to talk WBC, man, because this World Baseball Classic is exciting. And I'm sorry, but American baseball, we need to step it up this year. I'm not saying we can be like European soccer fans and all these countries that have these passionate fans, but we do it during the playoffs, and we have certain teams that do it. We need more energy in the ballpark in the regular season like we're seeing in the World Baseball Classic. It is electric, and I can't wait to go Tuesday night to see the Dominican Republic play against Israel in Miami.
Right. So I know Hunter Brown threw 34 pitches, 26 of them were strikes. He sat at 93 to 96 miles per hour. And so, like you said, Dusty Baker actually made it a point to start Corey Lee. I mean, Martin Maldonado is not available because he's at the World Baseball Classic, but it's definitely something he did intentionally because they caught each other. I mean, Lee caught Brown down in AAA.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't be surprised if Lee is the backup catcher, if Brown is his catcher, because they seem to have a good camaraderie. But Brown said that he felt like he had a better tempo today, and he felt like it was good to have the two ups and downs where he got to go sit down, then get back up. And so it just felt more like an actual start versus the other ones where he didn't really last that long into the game. So he was very optimistic about this. And yeah, I would think so too, with 3 innings, 3 strikeouts, and he just looked good. And so the Astros pitching continues to look good overall. And yes, you would want to maybe have maybe somebody shining more as the 6th starter, but as of right now, you don't have that guy. And so all you can do is just kind of hope that besides Blanco, but I still think that they're probably going to just have him as a long guy, as a bulk guy.
Well, I just like, why do we have to have a 6th starter? Like, is that a requirement now?
No, but just
I don't.
remember how fresh the Astros' arms were in the playoffs. They
Yeah,
weren't tired.
but didn't they do that partly because of Justin Verlander's surgery?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, so we don't have a Verlander. So I mean, but
And
I,
Hunter
I don't.
Brown has never pitched above 120 innings,
I know
and
he hasn't, but I
McCullers
mean,
has
okay, so
averaged 100 innings, and so
okay,
it's just like, yeah, you're going to need a sixth starter unless you don't use these guys in the playoffs.
yeah, I don't know. I just, that's obviously why I'm not the player coordinator or the GM of the Houston Astros. I look, I just think too. The bottom line is this. I think there's a lot more positive than negative.
Right.
I think what happens is we get into this time where we're in this fruitful season and we think, yeah, there's a couple key pieces that are gone all of a sudden. Well, the Astros aren't going to be as competitive. The Astros are still going to be the top team in the AL West. They are still going to be the top team in the AL when it's all said and done. Everything's going to work out. This team is managed really, really well. And if you are trying to manage your diet and manage what it is that you want to take in when it comes to fat and calories, you need to think about Built Bar. The Built March Madness bracket is here. We know that you have your favorite Built Bar or Puff. Now it's your time to make it count. Go to builtmarchmadness.com to vote for your favorites. You'll know that I'll be voting for the chocolate chip cookie puff is what I'll be voting for. Okay. And that's who I want along with the Houston Astros to win, the World Series. And I want U of H to win the Final Four. So I'm going to be voting for U of H. I'm going to be voting for Cookie Batter Puff. That's right. And when you vote for your favorite bar or puff, you will be entered into a drawing, and 50 Locked On listeners will get a free box of Built. Not only that, but one Locked On fan will win a 12-month subscription to Built to have Built bars delivered straight to your door. You got to try Built. Built is the best protein bar ever. Seriously, they're so amazing that you won't even think they're good for you. What makes them great? They're high in protein, low sugar, covered in 100% real chocolate. That's real chocolate. Run to builtmarchmadness.com right now to vote for your favorite bar or puff and pick up a box while you're there. You can vote every day in March, so hop in and support your pick. Wow. You can tell that I'm on spring break, because I have not seen that Built Bar curveball ad. It would have been nice to have a little bit of heads up to know that they had completely changed the live read. So, yeah.
That's fine. You're on spring break. It's
that
fine.
Was terrible.
It's practice. It's practice.
I did as bad as the Marlins pitchers did today at the ballpark. I mean, that was a really bad showing. They hit Chas McCormick with the first pitch. We were like, Chas is going to hit a home run. Boom, off the shin. Their pitchers were all over the place today. They didn't look very good at all, but Brian De La Cruz, former Astro, was out there. They had Encarnacion and a couple of their main players. But, Eric, 14 players from the Astros are at the WBC. And the news all weekend was the DR versus Venezuela. And everybody thought the DR was going to beat them. And freaking Venezuela lit it up. And Luis Garcia, 7 strikeouts, 3 innings.
Was it 3 or 4? Yeah, I guess it was 3.
I think it was like 3 1/3. I don't think it was a full 4 innings, like 3 1/3. This dude, 7 strikeouts, Eric. Struck out Jeremy Pena as one of them. Was on fire.
All sliders, by the way.
Yeah, Machete was cutting down runners. Jose Altuve's hitting home runs in the WBC. Hector Neris gave him a little chin music today. I don't know if you saw that. Almost hit him twice in the gullet. What are you doing, Hector Neris? But I love the excitement. No, I did not see Yuli. He was not with the Marlins today. I didn't see him at all. I looked for him. This WBC, dude, like even from the USA side, from what's going on in Arizona, this is fun stuff. Now, I don't know, man. I saw Paul Goldschmidt. Was it Paul Goldschmidt? Yes, run out. Or it was either him or Arenado run out an infield single. Yeah, I think it was Goldschmidt. And they're like, yeah, the Cardinals aren't going to like that. Because he almost pulled a hamstring doing that. That's my fears. Are they going to get hurt? Are they going to get injured? But then again, is this going to make Luis Garcia a Cy Young candidate when he comes into, is he going to be in midseason form and going to be a force to be reckoned with, where we thought it was going to be Javier or Valdez. Now it's freaking Luis Garcia. He lost the rock and the baby, and now he's nails. Like, what is going on? I freaking love the World Baseball Classic. I really wish, and I hope that this year baseball fans can step it up. I don't know what we got to do to get it going like they do, like other countries do, but we need some people placed in the stands from these countries. We need to give them like free tickets, come to our stadiums, give us life, help us bring life to the ballpark, get off your freaking cell phone and watch the baseball game. Why? Because it's shorter now.
I guess that's part of the reason why. But Luis Garcia did pitch 3 innings, no hit. Yes, somebody asked in chat, with 2 walks and 7 strikeouts. So
7 strikeouts, bro.
And he just looked dominant. And this is a pretty like stacked lineup, like you said earlier. And it's just like, this is not like the Marlins. You're talking about a stacked lineup who doesn't even have some of the best players in baseball in that lineup at that moment. And so it's just crazy just how good that is. But I know it was the exhibition game, but the day after Venezuela faced the Astros, they faced the Mets, and Altuve had 2 home runs off the first pitches. And I know that was exhibition game technically, but the first pitch swing, Jose Altuve is back. He's like, you're going to
he even hit a home run. He even led off WBC, I think, today. He hit a home run. Yeah, he's up there. He's getting doubles. He's making plays in the outfield. His uniform's dirty. Miguel Cabrera, Ronald Acuna Jr. Let me tell you, Venezuela, dude, they flex. When they score, when they get a strikeout, they go absolutely bananas, and I love it. I'm here for it. I'm telling you, man, there better be electricity in that stadium Tuesday night. I'm thinking about whether or not I should go see Puerto Rico play. I know Puerto Rico's got a really good team. But, dude, this Venezuela team, where a lot of people were picking
Dominican Republic.
They were picking
Japan's doing pretty good
in
too.
the USA. You got to watch out for Japan. You got to watch out for Venezuela. Shoot, Japan, I don't know if you and I talked about it, but Shohei Ohtani hit the back of the Tokyo Dome, hit the screen with a home run in BP. Yeah. I mean, and he's hitting home runs in the game. Look, these guys have come to play, and you love to see it. I just hope it becomes a positive thing for them once the season starts.
Did you see that there was a mercy rule in versus Great Britain versus Canada? Canada beat Great Britain 18-8. So it was a 10-run mercy rule. So yes, there's still mercy rule in baseball.
1776 and 2023. Sorry, Great Britain.
But I just loved when Luis Garcia was asked about, was the plan just to throw sliders to Jeremy Pena? And he was like, yep. And
have you seen him hit a slider?
Yeah. So the only problem with that is the fact that now you're just announcing to baseball, hey, do you know how to get Jeremy Pena out?
Yeah, but I think the league already knew that.
Yeah. The
league already knew you throw him a breaking pitch, he's going to swing at it. But like Guy Webster says, as this 9:58 Florida time, Venezuela is beating Puerto Rico right now 9-5. So wow, I'm telling you, man, Venezuela is like they are on a mission. This team is fired up, and it may be Venezuela in the U.S. It may be Venezuela in Japan. I mean, what's cool is the finals are in Miami, I believe. I won't be here. We'll be gone. But this World Baseball Classic, as much as I don't like 14 Astros being there, you can't fault these guys for playing for their country. You can't fault these guys for playing for pride. And why not? Look, it's a game. Let them have fun. But let's bring up American baseball to this level. Please, can we do that? Please.
Yes. Maybe that's why they're doing a pitch clock, just to make it more like basketball where it's constant action, not just like waiting for pitcher to walk around the mound and waiting for the hitter to walk around to play and everything.
But the fans, like, we need to start stuff from the fans, like the Chaz Chomp. Someone was like, our shooting stars aren't even that exciting. I mean, people are like, we need the Chinese Taipei girls to come over here because they got all these cheers and these dances and these chants. Dude, let's get some let's change up the way we do things. Let's quit doing things the old way. I love this new brand of baseball. Bring it. I'm here for it.
All right. Yuli Gurriel wrote in his Instagram, he said, to the city of Houston and all the Astros fans around the world, thank you. From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you more than you ever know. You welcomed my family with kindness and warmth. Your constant support inspired my teammates and I every single day. Together, we celebrated 2 World Series championships. To my teammates, I could have never imagined how amazing the past 7 years of my life were going to be. I'm forever grateful and love each and every one of you. We are familia. And what I'm so confused about is if he just got a minor league deal, how is it only the Marlins of all the teams is only one that's willing to give him a minor league deal? So maybe he
Well,
just wanted to go play there.
well, I think it's his age. I mean, I think it's last year. I
Well,
mean,
I know,
that's
but
hard to
minor
forget.
league deal, he could come back to Houston, and if the Astros need him, they can call him up and he can get another World Series.
But they
I'm just saying.
don't have a place for him though.
Well,
They
knock on wood, there's always injuries.
Jose Abreu closed that chapter. It was
Yeah.
over. You're not gonna take a spot on this 40-man roster, especially you don't know what's going on with the Brantley.
He's a non-roster invitee. You don't have to put him on the 40-man roster. So
I know that. But what I'm saying is you bring him here, though, not just to play minor league ball. You bring him here to hopefully make the major league roster. I'm just saying, I just whenever they signed Jose Abreu, I knew Yuli's time in Houston was finished. It was done. But we all love Yuli. We hate to see someone like him go because of what he's meant to the team. I mean, I went over gone over his stats, like all he's accomplished, and I think he'll find a place in Miami. I mean, I don't know if he's going to get on the roster. They already have Cooper and Jorge Soler, who's a DH, but he also can play first base. Who knows? He may find his way on the team. The Marlins, I don't think, compete at all for first or second in the East. There may be an outside possible chance at a wild card. I still think doubtful at this point. But Yuli can still be a mentor to these players if he does make it up to the majors. So if anything, he could be a good clubhouse addition for them.
All right. To close out the show, moving on from Yuli Gurriel, another former Astro faced the Houston Astros and shut him down for 3 1/3 innings, and that's Justin Verlander, the $45 million man, or however much he made. So he allowed 3 hits, 1 earned run, and 5 strikeouts. So, it just seeing him pitch for the Mets was a little weird, but it also showed how maybe the Astros should have gone out and got some starting pitching depth this offseason. And in the next podcast, a lot of people saying, well, why don't you go out and sign a veteran arm? I have 4 names right in front of me, and those names aren't that pretty based on last year's stats. So we'll talk about that. So, Brett, anything else you want to talk about before we sign out?
Yeah, real quick. I just wanted to show the people, if you're listening, obviously you got to go to YouTube to see this, but one of the World Series cards that they gave out, that Topps gave out from Alex Bregman, I got him to sign that today. And then I gave my son one of my Jeff Bagwell cards, and I said, if you can get it signed, it's yours. And we got the legend himself, Jeff Bagwell, to sign this 2001. I believe it's a Fleer Traditions card. So that was really cool. The players are really cool. I would just tell anybody, if you're coming to spring training this year, get there about 9 or 10 o'clock. That's when the players start showing up at the field. If they're out there in the cages and they're away from the coaches, they will talk to you. They will interact with you. Literally, Jake Myers came up when I said hi to him. We started talking. He remembered the show. They were talking to other people. You could tell people were regulars there and the players recognized them. So it's real personal. What's neat, if you have kids, stand in between the batting cages in the minor league fields and walk with them from there to the minor league fields, and they'll hold a whole conversation with you. They'll take pictures, they'll sign autographs. Great job. The ballpark is beautiful. If you get a chance, you got to put it on your bucket list and come hang out with us down here at spring training. I'll be there Saturday. We may go to Friday's game. I'm not sure. So if you're down Saturday, hit me up on the social media and we'll meet up and get a picture or something. Y'all have a good one. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight.
All right, and I got a bobblehead over the weekend. It's somebody was asking about Carlos Lee. I finally have a Carlos Lee bobblehead.
Wow.
Caballo. So
I didn't
that's
even
all
know
we
those
got.
still existed.
That's all we got for this edition of the Locked On Astros podcast. Make sure you check us out every day, and make sure you make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, and go subscribe to us on YouTube. And go Astros.